So this last resource I'm going to show you in three parts. This was a template I found on Twitter, and I just adapted it to the needs of my students. So there's 12 boxes, and in each box, there's a place for an original sentence to be copy and pasted, and then a space for students to revise based on the heading of that box. So you can see right here, we have subordinating conjunction beginning. Well, we just talked about that in a resource. So I could refer a student back to that resource and say, here's an opportunity for you to upgrade one of your sentences. So you're going to copy and paste your original here, and then you're going to write your revision using that subordinating conjunction, changing the sentence structure here. And so there's 12 different ways that you could do this. And so then, of course, I gave them an exemplar where the original sentence was, "He does not fear the ocean." It was from a piece of writing that I had done with them. That was one of my sentences. And then, so I showed them the structure. So here's what these things look like in all 12 of these ways. So one of the things that you might notice is we have the subordinating conjunction beginning, but we also have because in the middle of the sentence, comma, but in the middle of the sentence, comma, so. So some of these things they've seen before. And some of them are fairly basic, right? We might think, oh, writing a sentence with because is pretty basic. And so one of the things I like about this is it really provides a lot of differentiation for kids, because starting a sentence with a triple noun and then a colon is a very advanced sentence, or more, or less, or not only, but also. And so we have varying levels of complexity, and it kind of meets kids where they are in their writing needs. But so one of the things I did was I made a class copy of this, and then I gave them comment access so that they could go through and kind of think about these sentences. And so here we have, Lawrence said, "I never thought about starting a sentence with that word. It broadened my thinking for sentences," which is great if we're getting kids to think about their writing. And Santos said, "I like using because it helps people put more details into their writing," which is exactly what some of our kids need. And Derek said, "This is a very interesting way to start sentences because you get a descriptive feel on the beginning of the sentence, right? When you start with a double adjective." And so really just allowing them to sort of interact with these was a really helpful way for them to process it. And then during various writing assignments, I could say, okay, so you need to upgrade X number of sentences, 3. So go through and copy and paste your original, and then revise it right here so that I can see it in any of these 12 boxes, so that I know you're really engaging with revision on the sentence level. And at the end of the first semester, I had them take one of their notebook time entries, and I said it has to be 10 sentences long or more. And then you have to upgrade 10 sentences in 10 different ways. So there's 12 boxes here. So they had to choose 10 of the 12. And so this semester, as I was introducing it, a couple really interesting things happened. I asked Karen, "Oh, what's this? What's the definition of subordinating conjunction?" And she said, "I don't know." And I said, "So why did I put this here?" And she said, "Well, you just want us to think about how we're writing our sentences and why we write them that way." And I said, "That's really great, because that's really the point of this." And I asked Morgan. Morgan actually asked me, "Are we going to have to do this again?" Sort of with that tone. And I said, "Yeah, why?" She said, "It's really hard." And I said, "Remember that thing you did at the end of the first semester where you had to upgrade all 10 sentences?" I said, "That was pretty hard, right?" She said, "Yeah, that was really hard." And I said, "But what did you think about the writing when it was done?" She said, "It was really good." And I said, "So is it worth it?" She goes, "Yeah, it's just hard." And so we all know writing is hard, but this gives kids a very pragmatic way to sort of plug and play, where they can copy and paste their original and then rewrite a revision right underneath of it. And so, it's not that you have to have all these boxes all the time and everything, but this is a good reference for kids, and it's a good way for them to push themselves stylistically.